2 days out from Liverpool, heading south for the Canary Islands, pushing through rough weather in the bay. We're on the route of the old slave ships, bound for the coast of West Africa. We drop anchor at the Canary Isles. Many a proud white-sailed ship has anchored here before us, for the islands were the slave traders' last port of call before they struck out for the African coast. Their white sails are gone now, and their foul trade has vanished 100 years. But the islands that they saw have changed little. They saw the same old Spanish church, the same stream of peasants in their broad-brimmed hats, bringing in fruit and vegetables and wines on their mules for sale to the ships in the port. The people are Spanish, dark-skinned, weather-beaten by their work on the land, traditionally hospitable to the stranger, whatever his nationality. Proud, beautiful, in fact, typically Spanish. But they are poor like the peasants of Spain. This worker is eating the fruit of the cactus, for both European and tropical vegetation flourish in this subtropical climate. Through the scorching midday heat, itinerant merchants plod along from village to village on their overladen donkeys. And sometimes we see camels used for transport, brought over by some enterprising Arab merchant from North Africa. They look out of place up here on the plateau, but down in the valleys the soil is rich, although the methods of farming are primitive. In plowing, a boy walks ahead, picking out stones from the soil, which otherwise would damage the wooden plowshare. Oxen follow him, drawing the plow. Here they're using milking cows. Instead of reins, a cowpole is used to prod them into line. And here is the plow, a wooden shaft and handle for steering, and a wooden plowshare. But so soft is the soil that it is turned over with ease. And so rich is the soil that every kind of vegetable grows here in abundance. And fruits, too, ripen quickly in this hot climate. Bananas, lemons, tomatoes, oranges, and peaches. Here are the ancient cities of primitive men, terrace upon terrace of cave dwellings, the entrance now walled in to make a front room, but behind are dark, unventilated caves hewn from the rock. In this terraced town, people have lived since the earliest days of the island's history. It was inhabited when the Romans came here in the year 40 BC, when Arab navigators came in the 7th century, and when a French fleet rediscovered the island by chance in the 13th century. For over 300 years, they have been Spanish territory. And so, looking out from their high hills, these people have seen the ships of many nations and of many civilizations pass by. But none have left on such ghastly purpose as did the slave ships when they weighed anchor only a little more than 100 years ago. Fresh food has been bought, and fresh water. Let's, in imagination, join one of these ships, and we'll set sail for the slave coast. We're heading south for the coast, down to Cape Coast Castle and Conakry. Magic names these, calling us on. Lagos, Calabar, Fernando Po. We're looking for black men in chains, black ivory for sale. 70,000 slaves a year we snatch from their land. We buy them body and soul for a handful of trinkets. and sell them in the Indies for 30 pounds a man. Yes, there's money in black ivory. So let's down south to the coast. At last, through the shimmering tropical light, the mountains of Sierra Leone come up on our bows. Here is Africa, unknown, uncharted Africa. And this is the steaming, fever-racked coast of the white man's grave. Already the tribes on the coast have seen us from their lookouts. As the traders come ashore, the chief and his headmen come down to meet them, for the white men are welcome. These tribes on the coast buy slaves from dealers inland, or they raid neighboring villages for prisoners caught in raids inland. The white men resell them to the plantations of the West Indies and America. That is how the slave trade operates. All that night the village is deserted, for deep in the mangrove swamps, in wild, ecstatic rhythm, the natives dance to entertain the traders. Typical night. Yes, a few may escape to take back to their villages tales of the horrors of, but thousands are doomed. Snatched from their families, black ivory. And the slave trade opened up Africa, a new continent, new territories for trade. And so traders still go down to the coast, picking up cargoes at the old ports of Lagos, Calabar, and Conakry. But no longer is it the slave route. It's the main trade route to Africa, and it's a different Africa that we see today. 100 years ago, this was a swamp. We see now a great port. For when slavery was abolished, the traders turned to the development of the vast, rich natural resources of West Africa. And tens of thousands of tons of goods are shipped to Europe each year. And the African people have adapted themselves rapidly to what must be to them the unbelievable miracles of mechanical civilization, although they may have no understanding of the purpose of their work. He controls the winches on the ships, which require skill and intelligence. He takes charge of the unloading of cargoes. And of course, all labor is done by the natives, who are not affected like white men by the great heat. They work in the mines, iron mines, manganese, copper and gold. They drive cars, tractors, and lorries. They are learning modern business methods. And the white man is teaching the African to help himself to his own advancement along the road to civilization. The children's spirit of adventure finds an outlet in the troops of Boy Scouts, where they acquire discipline and a sense of duty. No more is heard the clash of warriors' spears and clubs, for this competitive energy has been diverted into the strenuous and muscle-building sports and games of the white man. They show by example what wonders it can perform in the curing of diseases and the lessening of pain. And they train native nurses and orderlies in the work of a hospital, and to assist the doctors in major and minor operations, and in time to take over responsible work themselves. Although the tom-tom still sends its vibrant notes from village to village, no longer is borne on the breeze the terrible message, "Bring in your slaves." It carries instead a message of welcome on the arrival of a district commissioner to their territory, bringing with him law, order, and justice into the remotest village of the interior. To him, for settlement of their troubles, come chiefs and headmen and the humblest native. They bring matters of greatest importance to their village, or trifling family troubles. The white man came to these people centuries ago, bringing all the horrors of slavery. For centuries he fought them, as they fought amongst themselves. But gradually, as his influence spread, so traders covered the continent, and after them came the setting up of an administration whose purpose was to bring to the black races the freedom of the civilized world.